Can you imagine that? 1,650 rounds were fired at a peaceful and unarmed crowd of men, women, elderly people and children. Do you know how much money the British looted in 173 years of colonial rule? The British looted 45 trillion US dollars from India in today's value. Sardar Udham has been rejected from entry into the Oscars. Why? Because it projects hatred of the British. The jury which rejected the film was headed by Shaji Karoon, and as per jury member Indradeep Dasgupta, the film is too Indian and hateful towards British. Does it show that the knowledge about the reality of British imperialism could create a new outcry? Truth, as the saying goes, is always bitter. Rated 9.2 out of 10 in IMDb, Sardar Udham is perhaps the best film that Shoojit Sarkar has directed, and it goes without saying that Vicky Kaushal has given his best performance till date. The story revolves around the 1919 Jallianwala Bagh massacre in Amritsar and the avenging of the murder of the martyrs by Sardar Udham Singh, a revolutionary freedom fighter. Rowlatt Acts, February 1919, was a legislation passed by the Imperial Legislative Council, the legislature of British India. The acts allowed certain political cases to be tried without juries and permitted imprisonment of suspects without trial. Michael O'Dwyer was instrumental in the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and he ensured that the Indian people be taught a lesson for revolting against the Rowlatt Act's implementation. On 13th April 1919, men, women, elderly people and children congregated in Jallianwala Bagh to celebrate the festival of Baisakhi and peacefully protest the arrest and deportation of two national leaders, Satyapal and Saifuddin Kichlu. British troops arrived, blocked the entrance and surrounded the gathered crowd, and then mercilessly they kept firing on the peaceful and unarmed people inside. The troops kept on firing until their ammunition was exhausted. The following day, Dwyer stated in a report that, "I have heard that between 200 and 300 of the crowd were killed. My party fired 1,650 rounds." Can you imagine that? 1,650 rounds were fired at a peaceful and unarmed crowd of men, women, elderly people and children. Who knows what the real number of rounds were? Estimates of those killed vary between 379 and 1,000 people, and over 1,200 other people were injured, of whom 192 were seriously injured. Britain never formally apologized for the massacre, but expressed regret in 2019. Do you know how much money the British looted in 173 years of colonial rule? The British looted 45 trillion US dollars from India in today's value, according to a report in the Economic Times. According to Wikipedia, from the 1st century till the start of British colonization in India in 17th century, India's GDP always varied between 25 to 35% of the world's total GDP, which dropped to 2% by independence of India in 1947. And at the same time, Britain's share of the world economy rose from 2.9% in 1700 up to 9% in 1870 alone. The entry of the film Sardar Udham into the Oscars would have meant wide publicity for the film and widespread awareness of the outrageous acts of the British and their robbery and loot of India, and how they transformed India from a rich land to a land of the poor, and that too not even an apology till date. What do you think would have been the state of Britain today had it not been for the loot that they did? And what would be the state of India with the kind of economy that we always had? It is shameful and disgraceful to not allow the film Sardar Udham into the Oscars with a weak reasoning from the jury that is utterly unconvincing in its argumentative value. Share this video as much as you can. Let it reach every Indian and every British and every person in this world to know what the British did to India and how they're living their lavish lives today with the money looted from India. Jai Hind.